trees he gives certain people. But yeah, man, it is what it is. So it's a very interesting one, but can't lie, I don't care. If, as somebody said, all I care about is the knock-on effect. By all means, if Pepe wants to leave, let him go. I'd rather him stay and be part of the squad. But by all means, if he wants to dip, let him dip. Now, where I have something to say is the knock-on effect. You know, if something happens and there's no winger, well, I'm going to say, well, Pepe might not be the Messiah, but what's going on here? Really, really and truly. So yeah, man, it is what it is. What it is. But yeah, we've offered a lot of opinions about Nicolas Pepe, and I've made a lot of timestamps. Let's look at the transfer news. Actually, people. Oh, this is fantastic. If it's true, let's start with this. Mikel Arteta to receive 7.4 million transfer boost as Arsenal defender set to complete permanent move. Please, I mean, the Udinese technical director wants to do it. Marie wants to do it. I hope we can do it. Lower your wage demands and stay at Udinese. Udinese want to sign Pablo Mari on a permanent transfer this summer, with Arsenal keen on making a deal happen. Football.London understands. The defender started 12 games for the Italian side since joining on loan from the Gunners in January. Maybe that's why Lukaku wants to go back to Italy. You know, you can't play Pablo Mari every week. I would like to stay in Italy. I'm very well at Udinese, and I'd be happy to take the club even higher in the standings. Of course, I still have a 2-year contract with Arsenal. Come on, man, throw the bag. Mari's departure will help to save the club in the region of 9 million euros, 7.4 million quid, due to an appearance-based clause inserted into his contract. Football.London spoke to someone close to Mari who confirmed there are some performance bonuses included in the transfer fee. And apparently a Brazilian outlook said last January that Arsenal have to pay Flamengo a bonus of $1 million, I think, every time Mari makes 10 Premier League appearances, up to a maximum of 80 ounces. Apparently the sporting director said that he will do everything possible to keep Mari at the stadium. Mari is an Arsenal player. It's typical that a player like that comes to Udinese, not because we don't deserve him, but because in general the way is the opposite. It will be difficult to keep him. As we know, Mavropanos is also set to go. Guendouzi is set to go. Torreira is set to go. So again, if you could throw Pablo Mari in there and then obviously sort out the futures and probably the departures of Leno and people like that, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, unfortunately Reece Nelson, that goes a long way, and things like that. So yeah, it is where it is, man. So yeah, the quicker he leaves, the better in it, really. So yeah, that's up for him. We spoke about that earlier on Twitch, so we won't go over that again. Arsenal and AC Milan have been linked with Raheem Sterling. I'm not going to keep going over the Sterling stuff, people. Nicolas Pepe. Arsenal ready to listen to offers for 72 million, record signing Nicolas Pepe to generate funds for the summer transfer spree. Arsenal are ready to listen to offers for record signing Nicolas Pepe as they look to generate funds for another summer spending spree, but they are resigned to taking a massive hit on the Ivorian international, who cost 72 million when he joined from Lille 3 years ago. Good riddance to Marie, man. Good riddance. Pepe killed his Arsenal career by not turning up in the first 3 games of the season. He had 3 games without Aubameyang and Laka to stand up as a leader and our team, and we lost 3 in a row, scoring none. I mean, as much as I'm not convinced on Pepe, I think that's a bit harsh, because by that same logic, Martinelli should never get another opportunity. Young Balogun should not have got an opportunity. Ben White shouldn't get another opportunity. A bit harsh. The whole team. I get you. If he thrived in and amongst the madness, then the narrative might be different. But I think every player was going to struggle there. We was a shambles. So I don't think that's a bit. I think that's a bit harsh, and I think there's many reasons as to why Nicolas Pepe hasn't banged. I would say go back to when he signed, and his dad said, you need to go to a higher level now. You need to understand football's not a game. I do think Pepe plays within himself. I wouldn't say he doesn't push himself, but I don't think he quite pushes himself. I think he's too much of an easy going character, really and truly. You're at that age where you're 26, bro. You're 26. You're the record signing. As great as Saka is, you're nowhere near him. It's not like Saka can have 3-4 bad games. He might not get dropped. It should be neck and neck. Arteta should have a headache who's playing on the left and right. And he does. Is it Martinelli? Is it Smith Rowe? Is it Saka? Prior, you had Aubameyang. But it's never been Nicolas Pepe, even when the form's there. And already the manager's clearly not. While I think he's improved, he's not convinced. He's contracted for another 2 years. the same length of time, Martinelli, Saliba, and Saka. Now, there's been talk about all three of them getting new deals, next to nothing with Pepe. I do think it could be worth keeping him, because if we are in the champs, there's a bunch of games, and I don't think we can afford to do what we did in January, where it might look good, but just in terms of the positions, we are light at. I'm not backing. I did not care Pablo Mari's gone, but we are light at centre half. We are very light at centre half. Yes, we've been in one comp, and we've still had injury issues. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, whether that's centre mid or left back, we've been sold short. Callum Chambers at centre half and right back, we've sold ourselves short. We all know what happened with Aubameyang. We sold ourselves short up front. We've taken a big risk. Maybe there's luxuries we can hide behind. And as I said, there was logic behind all of them going, but other teams or other scenarios might not have been quite kind, man. So yeah, he's not started a Premier League game for more than 6 months and does not feature. He can't really get a look in, people. So if anything, we're kind of killing any sort of small funds we can get. The player allegedly has become increasingly frustrated with his lack of first team action after becoming an almost permanent fixture on the subs bench this season. He's on 100. Subsidize some of that contract. With Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and then Reece Nelson all competing for wide attacking positions, Arsenal are not short of options should Pepe leave. Now it is understood the club would be prepared to let him leave for a fee of around 25 million. And as I said earlier, if I want to buy Pepe and you're saying 25 million, he's contracted until 2024, he wants to leave. He probably was going to leave in Jan. The manager's not convinced. I'm not giving you 25. I'll say here's 20. Here's 17.5. You might have 25, but I'm not going to give that in upfront fees. Let's make some bonuses. All right, I'll give you 25 million, but you're soldiering some of his wages. So yeah, man, it was never meant to happen, really and truly. So yeah, man, it was never meant to happen. Allegedly, he would welcome a return to one of the major French teams, maybe back to Lille. He's been linked with Marseille, who we have good business with. He could move to Spain or Italy, and some of you have been saying maybe shot Osimhen and whatnot. And do a thing, really. So yeah, man. I mean, if I don't think Pepe should be the first name out, I do think I would like to see Eddie sign a new deal for some P's. And then it's probably the right decision to let him go. Pablo Mari, hopefully Udinese take him. Mavropanos and Guendouzi are basically gone. Completely forgot about Hector Bellerin. Shout out to him for winning the trophy before Spurs. You mean to tell me Bellerin's come all the way from Barcelona's academy, come to England, get cane rolls, had spiky hair, won some trophies, go back to Spain, and Spurs still ain't done anything, really. But yeah, on a serious note, 2023, Bellerin, Ed, you need to sort it out, innit? I don't expect you to do everything, but you should be gone. You're probably one of the harder ones to go, I feel, and you're one that will probably drag. I don't know, because of Udinese, you're gone already, technically. We're going to make a hit on Torreira, but we should be making money because you're doing okay. So we need to bring players in. We all know we need a striker. We need an 8. We need, I would say, 2 strikers, 2 midfielders, a top left back that can fight Tierney, a proper backup right back. If anything, I would concede maybe not buying a right back because Ben White can play there. Saliba will come back and getting in a left back. You'd probably need a stopgap or squad sort of centre back because we are probably light there as well. That's who we need to bring in, and we need to get players gone as well as new deals. So I don't expect Eddie to do everything, but these are things you got to kind of be doing, innit, man? How much did we pay for Marie? What, about 14 million all in total? So we're gonna take a hit. You can buy cheap players like Tomiyasu, where you've done your due diligence and that's the deal. Or sometimes you spend cheap and you get what you pay for, as you've seen several times, really and truly, with Arsenal Football Club. So, yeah, man, that's it. It's come to an end for Nicolas Pepe, but at least you can leave with an FA Cup. Arsenal offered chance to bring 50 million striker to the Emirates, people. Who are they talking about? Arsenal have been offered the chance to sign Richarlison as Mikel Arteta looks to bolster his options at the Emirates. Now, I'd rather Gabriel Jesus than Richarlison, but I think they're birds of the same feather in that these new age Brazilian players, sometimes I look at them, I'm like, I think you're sick. Then I'm like, I think you're rubbed. I mean, Richarlison, all I see, you spend a lot of time on the floor like a stripper, just acting like you've been fouled. You're a bit of a battering ram. You do 2 good things and then 2 terrible things. I mean, the bar's on the floor, so by default, I would take it. I don't really want to. I'd rather spend 30 million on Gabriel Jesus than 50 million on Richarlison, but that's just me. According to 90 Minute, and Brazil bias, don't get twisted, Arsenal have added Richarlison to a short list of targets and are known to be long-term admirers. And I mean, Everton, did you not have a crazy bid from Barcelona? You should have accepted that, much like when we got a crazy bid from Barcelona, allegedly, for Bellerin. Apparently, Man United and PSG are also mulling over whether to make a move. It's understood that Richarlison's reps have told Everton he is eager to leave Goodison Park at the end of the season, as he wants to give himself the best possible chance of making his country squad for the upcoming World Cup in Qatar. As you know, we've got 2 strikers leaving, so that probably means it makes sense. He's got 2 years remaining on his 110K a week deal, and obviously to go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they've got a decision to make there as well, people. So yeah, away from that, we've heard Jovic wants to move back to Germany, people. I only speak about this purely because he's always linked with Arsenal. Luka Jovic isn't interested in a move to England and prefers a return to Germany despite interest from Arsenal, people. This report claims that Jovic wants to go to the Bundesliga only. Fair play, why not go back to familiar surroundings? Arsenal were allegedly keen if the deal was worth just 30 million, a 23 million loss on the 53 million they paid in 2019. Apparently, he believes Jovic's career can be salvaged. One thing I don't like, now I don't know Jovic, I've never spent a day with him, I don't know him from Larry, but you do hear little stuff like he's got attitude issues, he's a bit of a loose cannon, you know, he was getting fined for not listening to the COVID, to the COVID protocols and things. So if there's issues around discipline, we've seen players already, you know, pay the price for that. It wouldn't really make sense. But at 24, there might be something. It could be the same logic and rhetoric in an Odegaard. But if he wants to go back to Germany, let him do his thing in it. He's been starved of football. Our club trying to stop potential Arsenal transfer this summer. Mikel Arteta wants to sign Raheem Sterling, but Manchester City reportedly do not want to let him go. Once again, like Gabriel Jesus, contracted until 2023. Also, Mahrez is as well, people. He said, I'm happy to be playing here. That's the most important thing. It'd be selfish to speak of any contract situation. I'm taking Sterling, J.A. Tug, able to play up front as well as everywhere else, you know, experienced, all that good sort of stuff, people. 27 years of age. Yeah, I don't really see it happening though, really and truly. So that's that. William Saliba. Now, again, this headline sounds a bit more exciting than it actually is. I keep saying the same things with Saliba. I think there's a spot for him. He'll probably arrive as the third choice centre-half, but I think considering Gabriel and Ben White, they've done quite well this season, but there's been times they've looked shaky. I think Saliba can come into the squad. There's been times we played 3 at the back, times where one could be dropped, times where, you know, when you've got better players, you can start resting people. I would love to be in a position where we're allowed to take the burden off Tierney, off Tomiyasu, off Partey, off Bukayo Saka, and crucially not see too much of a drop-off. I think everything's available for Saliba. I think he's open to staying at Marseille permanently or on loan, or the same logic elsewhere. I think Arsenal are open to keeping him and selling him. I think everything's up for debate, really. If you're coming back to Arsenal, you're probably, unless you're going to play, you're probably further away from the French squad because the World Cup's in November. You're going to have to kind of do a thing. And I think Saliba, a bit like Pepe, I think, you know, they're quite honest on their situation. Saliba said, listen, I'm prepared to be the rotation done, but I just want to know there's an opportunity to fight. And the move on loan has been validated. He comes back more experienced. You know, loan report soon out. I'm going to try and write it all up today. I just finished watching the Reims game, you know, PSG, Nantes and them lot. You know, Saliba's one of the better players in France. I think people do this thing where they gas people and then they're going to say he's overrated, because I do think he's going to learn he's had some good periods and some mistakes this season. In the Premier League, I think the first lesson he's going to learn is you're definitely not going to have enough time on the ball as you think. One thing I really love is his passing. He's improving defensively, but he's passing. There's too much time on the ball in France. And sometimes, he doesn't do it often, but he'll play risky passes. Like against Reims, I don't know how to make it make sense. But if you could imagine, my teammate, I'm Saliba, the teammates there's a man kind of that can intercept the ball here. And we're the last 2 defenders. He's fizzed the pass. Now, it's worked. But on another day, it's a bit mad. And in that same game, there was an incident where the ball's gone over the top. He could have kind of either chested it or headed it immediately. He brought it down and ultimately just evaded the defender. But there's hungrier strikers in the Prem. He's not the finished. There's a lot that man has to learn. Him, Gabriel, Ben White, they're going to learn a lot. We need centre-half, so I'm all for it. But Saliba's true valuation emerges as Arsenal prepare to make decision on defender. Now, apparently, he's happy at Marseille with talks planned between the agent and Arsenal in coming weeks. Now, our scouts and our loan report, Don Ben Napier, have been monitoring his development. It's not, obviously, he said at the end of the season, my advisors and Arsenal are going to talk. That's what has to happen. Not just him, but everyone who's on loan that returns on loan. People that are at the club, you know, you need to speak with Edu, Arteta, etc. Even players that are in the academy. What's the next step of all of you lot's development? So it's not really anything groundbreaking, but nonetheless, William Saliba's representatives will meet with Arsenal's technical director Edu in the coming weeks to discuss the player's future. Football.London understands Saliba has won possession in the defensive third more times. He's also played some of the most minutes, so it's going to obviously filter in that. But he's won possession in the defensive third more times, 143, than any other player in Liga this season. And I think Guendouzi's been one of the most used players among Europe. I think he's made 50 appearances so far this year, maybe 51 now. And Marseille are desperate to find a solution to keep him. And we heard that they're in talks trying to get him. I don't think there's anything wrong with him necessarily staying on loan again, because he's still 21, turning 22. If he did sign a new deal, you're comfortable there. They might be in Europe as well. Go and do what you're doing. But I would like him to have an opportunity next year. The 21-year-old joined the Gunners all the way back in the summer of 2019, but is still yet to make his senior competitive debut for Mikel Arteta. We all know he's played for 23s and he played against MK Dons. Obviously, he can play at right back. I'd rather Ben White do the right back thing, really and truly. But yeah, this ain't really that. He said, they are often in contact with my agent. They send me messages. They watch my games. They tell me to continue like this. I haven't played much with the Gunners. The coach made his decision. That's life. I left on loan. I played matches. And thanks to my performances, I became a senior international. What happened to me helped me forge a mental toughness. You don't play just because you cost 30 million euros. I take it positively, even if there are times when you ask yourself questions. For 6 months, I saw that I was the only one in the group not to play. It hurt. I'm sure I can't just be on the bench at Arsenal and be happy. I want to be a starter. Afterwards, I come into the rotation as a substitute, which is cool. It's not like staying with the 23s and never being in the squad. So he understands that I'm going to be third choice. His contract expires in 2024, and apparently primarily talks, I can never say that word, but talks will be open towards the end of the season with his loan at Marseille. So just keep doing what you're doing and the conversations will be had, people, really and truly. Joao Lopez, that's a myth. Let Brooke Norton Coffey just keep developing and doing his thing. Joao Lopez, nope. Rather the Sosa brother. 50 million to Zhang. DG on the 2 midfield options. Would you get Talisha? I mean, he's too injury prone and it's only going to be highlighted even more at this football club. Morning, DG. Buyers will all have leverage on Pepe's sale. Arsenal going to take a big L, but it would not have been as bad had the initial shadiness of his 72 million fee not happened. Not Pepe's fault. Trust. Sterling would be great, but he ain't coming to us. Number 2 loading for Saliba. DG, your team Chicago Bulls are going out very meaty. Everyone's suggesting to sell Pepe. Tell me why. If he plays, he impacts the game. If Wenger bought him, he would have a new contract offer. I don't know about any of that. If your aunt had the will, he should be your uncle in it. I don't know about none of that sort of stuff. People really, really and truly really don't have a clue, man. Some mature words from Saliba. Good to hear. Keep his head down and learn his craft. His time will come with Arsenal. I would love for Arsenal to make peace with Guendouzi, but it's gone, bro. Like it's gone in it. Just have to bite the bullet. Pause. It's over now. Like he's gone. He's not coming back. Simple as that. Osimhen has been linked with Arsenal. When you look at what allegedly Freddie Paxton has said, I'm told Arsenal have been in contact with the agent of Victor Osimhen. The feeling is that the interest is serious, but Napoli will expect 100+ million euros this summer. Player wants to play in England and has previously been contacted by Newcastle. He's more interested in Arsenal. And I mean, the same strikers are going to be linked with the same old clubs, aren't they? Newcastle, Arsenal, Manchester United and West Ham. We're all linked with Osimhen. We're all linked with Darwin Núñez. We're all linked with the same dons in it. So he wants to play in England, whether that's for United, whether that's Newcastle can get him or Darwin Núñez. I don't know. Arsenal have been, contact with this agent, talking to the agent of Osimhen, Jonathan David, Telemans, this guy, that guy, and that's all good because now it's time to put the feelers into place. As Edu said, yeah, let's see. But in general, I'm always skeptical of reports that are based with Italian players with our football club for obvious reasons. And I do think he's one of the hardest to obtain because he's going to have to dig his heels in. Napoli are notorious to do difficult business with. It's pay the fees or mess up or go away. It's like Isaac, whether you rate Isaac or not. It's like pay the 77 odd million or go away. You would need him to dig his heels in. You need a lot of negotiation. Maybe if you swap Pepe, it could be it. I would not mind Victor Osimhen and Gab Jesus because I really do like him, and we did try to get him before he joined Leo. You know, we've known about him since he was 17, really. So yeah, important eyes from the Premier League have been set on Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, in particular Arsenal, who have already taken several concrete steps through middlemen to sign the player, although there is no definitive agreement. So I like the fact that we're looking. David Ornstein said a centre midfielder has been on the agenda for quite some while. The sort of 8/6 roles, maybe someone who can operate in both roles. That Telemans can do the 6. I think Neves is better at doing both of them, really, even though I think Telemans has more natural talent, who can operate in both roles. There's been links and admiration for Neves, Telemans, and a number of other ones. I'd take both of them calmly, really and truly. In terms of elsewhere, it will depend on movements out. They will need to bring in fullback cover for Tomiyasu. Will they, need to bring in fullback cover for the agenda a while ago? Someone that can position themselves on the left and cut in. Boy, you would have to see what all of that means, people. Where Gabriel Jesus is concerned, people, I never disappoint. You know me, I'm loving it. Let's see what that has said. The club closest to closing the Gabriel Jesus deal is Arsenal. There are no official talks with Barcelona at all. The player's agent is the one who leads all the details between all parties in this deal. Manchester City will ask for at least 30 million euros. Arsenal could do a lot worse, because again, you probably will on the 25-year-old make 30 million quid back for one. Two, there's potential. They're free. He can play out wide. He can play on the right. He can play in up front. He might be even able to play off the left. I'm sure he wouldn't say no. I've seen man play right and left back for Man City. Pep's come out and said he won't do that. He won't do that today, though. Don't forget, people. But not Barcelona. Sorry, Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Watch along business after this, people. So yeah, I'm not against it, people. But yeah, where did we start? Sorry, that's Thomas Partey. That's Martin Odegaard. So yeah, 30 million euros there. Big up the Apparently, this is what Jesus said on Arteta prior. He helped a lot of players. When I want to train to finish after training, I tell him, he comes and helps me. So he's a really great guy for us. Everyone knows that at the club, he's a great guy and a coach. I mean, come and let him be your coach again full time, man. And as you can see here, Arsenal lead the race for Gabriel Jesus. And once again, Manchester City will ask for 30 million euros. So that's about 20 odd million quid. Once again, when was the date of this? It's the 26th. Arsenal in Gabriel Jesus transfer talks as Manchester City striker seeks more playing time. He's heading into the final year of his contract. His reps have opened talks with Arsenal over a potential summer move, as we already know, people. He's seeking a more 25-year-old, having just started 17 of the 24 matches in which he has featured in the English top flight this season, better than expected. His agent has met with Arsenal's technical director, Edu, to discuss a possible deal. The discussions are still at the early stages, and there's been no talk about salary figures so far. However, it has already been decided that the attacker's agent will be the middleman in the deal with City. His contract expires in 2023. He's hoping for more playing time. He believes he can get that Arsenal, but he will not attempt to force City to let him leave. Indeed, there's still the possibility that he will ultimately agree new terms. I mean, he could be using us to get new terms, really. So we have to see. And once again, he said, we read this yesterday in it, but long story short, he said more or less that, okay, cool. We just want to focus on what we're doing this year, in it. And then when it's time to talk about transfers, we'll talk, sort of thing, which I can't blame a man for that. Again, this was for the Twitch gang, but yeah, Martin Odegaard's dad loves Arteta much like Odegaard. It's nice to see Thomas Partey is running up and down again, people, and on the treadmill. When he's back, I don't know. It seems like we've been down this theme of him rushing. Fair play. I'd rather him just take his time. If it's the next season thing, it's the next season thing, really. So we'll have to see. So yeah, but yeah, that's that on Thomas Partey, people. So yeah, with that, I think that ends, for now, the paper talk. In fact, I'm lying to you lot, people. We're not done yet. Spence, who is a Man United fan, and we've been linked with Spence before. I think United need to go buy him. I think Ten Hag listen. Nobody is watching week in, week out Spence in the Championship because he's had some good games. He's also had some shaky games. Middlesbrough and Forest fans will tell you that. Taking to the Premier League, Championship is tough. The Premier League is going to be tough. But I would rather work with Spence if I was Ten Hag than Wan-Bissaka. But saying that, the club might say, do you know what? Try to get something out the £50 million man. Allegedly, he has 5 offers on the table. Arsenal and Tottenham are interested. It doesn't say we've offered anything, but the player available for 12 to 15 million euros, which again, that's a bit different from what we said. Dreams of playing for Man United. Fair play, man. It's a big club. So let's see what's going on there, really. I think he'd be a good addition for all the clubs mentioned. And he's also had interest from Bayern Munich and all these sort of things there as well, people. So we'll have to see how that one develops. I can't lie. I think I was reading The Athletic, and I remember, like, I was just on The Athletic today, and I just remember there used to be little articles way before Arsenal were linked with Gabriel Jesus, or he was even a thing. There was little articles about him playing through the middle and all these sort of things, people. And I just think we should go through it. So yeah, we could see it here. I'll go into it in a second, people. I just want to see what these things are going on. Is this the same article? Yeah, look, people, these are just 3 articles dedicated to Gab Jesus. So we're going to pre that in a sec, man. 264 in the room, 136 likes. They're violating, man. Come on, do up the likes better than that, people. You're letting me down, man. You lot are a lot better than that, man. You lot are good people. At least I thought you was. We're not using Pepe, so we should let him go. Everton have made more complaints to the PGMOL than they've won games this season. Ouch. Only way we get Osimhen for an affordable price is if we get bookie pictures of their president. Boy, I don't know. Maybe give Pepe there, innit? I don't know if Italy's the right place for certain man, but yeah, man. DG, do you think we could see Ben White to right back when Saliba comes back? We're there for the option, innit? There for the option. I think, with that, that makes me want to double down on the left back even more. 100 mil. It's a mad thing, innit? A man said Osimhen's Napoli transfer is being investigated. Napoli would let go of this hot potato. I don't know about that, but you're right, man. Big up DG. Arsenal should sign El Nene. We've already got him still. Darwin Núñez, Gabriel, and Declan Rice. We get right and left backs. I mean, I wouldn't mind Declan Rice, but that's out of our price range still. And to be fair with you, as much as I like Declan Rice, I think he's got more technical ability than man given credit for. Once you start getting into the fees that they're asking for, then I think he doesn't bring nothing to the table that suggests worth that. You're better off finding someone with a skill set similar to his elsewhere. One thing that goes against him is the English tax. When you buy English, you're buying bad guys. 50 million for Wan-Bissaka, 50 million for Ben White, and I only say Ben White. Wan-Bissaka's doing shit, but he was there for 2 seconds. This is Ben White's second season in the Premier League, second at Arsenal. These are the premiums. The only decent one I think we got that I don't think had a premium in recent years is Ramsdale. I think 30 million is a bit of a fair price, but you could say back-to-back relegations, maybe it could have been harsh. I doubt whether Marseille would be able to even afford the 30 million fee we paid. Other clubs might. Maybe looking from Arteta's perspective, he doesn't want to have the headache of dealing with 3 raw centre-backs that need developing. And I think that is the case. Gabriel's been bet on and he's left-sided. Ben White, they spent 50 million on. Yeah, you could say, why did we spend 50 million on Ben White when Saliba's there? But I think you look at our centre-off options, we're kind of bandulu over there, really and truly. I think Saliba could come back. I think holding at least for one more season. Whether he wants to play or not or force the ball out, it's down to him. But I think he needs to stay and be a squad don. I would like someone of Pablo Mari's profile better than him if they could come and be there. But you could make a case, really. I think the priority is clearly number 8 in midfield and up front. Then you can make a case for backup right back, backup centre back, backup left back, or rotation left back, a winger. Would it be fair to still say backup goalie, because I know we've bought Matt Turner, but I can't verify a man that I haven't seen. It's like Trusty, the other American Donny, and it's nothing to do with his nationality. He's a centre back, so that's centre back and goalie. Backup goalie was definitely on the summer wish list. I've never seen Matt Turner, so I don't know what he's on. So do you get it? So it's one of them ones. Of course, he wants game time, man. Of course. Big up you lot, man. Very interesting things, man. Joe, I ain't seen you for a minute. Big up yourself. Bring back AFC Bell 100%. So yeah, man, it could be an interesting one to have. 150 likes. If you've hit the like button, God bless you. Unexpected high bills to those who haven't. Make sure you're following across Twitch and YouTube, folks. Appreciative to that. Let me actually see as well. There's no other Arsenal rumors, are there? Really, we've covered them somewhat. Let me actually see before we get into other transfers. Well, I say transfers, but I just want to we might as well see what these. I think them The Athletic articles are quite interesting. I mean, Luka Jovic, that one's gone. I know. Big up the Twitch gang. We was talking about Haaland earlier. You know, Odegaard saying he needs to come to Arsenal. Bit of a myth. You know, when he wants a real challenge, come on, shout, man. I think the weirdest one I saw is we was offered Richarlison, allegedly. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Arsenal in talks with Gabriel Jesus revealed as Edu learns asking price for Tammy Abraham. Sorry, people, we could look at this as well. Sorry, I'm gone on football.london once again. Arsenal have been told how much they will need to pay in order to sign Tammy Abraham this summer. As you know, we spent 150 million on 6 signings last year. Football understands that Manchester are among the shortlisted providers. This shortlist must be really long, which in one hand I like, because I do like Arsenal doing the Vlahovic or bust thing, like not just signing man for the sake of signing it, but at the same time, if it's a results-driven business, I don't care whether obviously I want European football, but in the sense of this, I don't care if you've got Champions League, Europa League, no football, Conference League, you need to get. All that matters is once September comes, the end of the August transfer window, summer transfer window, I see a striker, I see an 8 minimum. I don't care about nothing else. There's no we tried. You don't get brownie points for retrying. If I try to pass a test and I fail, if I try to pass my GCSEs and I fail, I don't get 5 A-star to C's, where you can still have a great life, but then you might not get a college course you want or whatever. If I try to pass my driving test and I fail, I ain't got a license. I'm not on the road. So there's only go so far, bro. Like, you get it. Like, it's one of them ones. I'm not expecting us to do everything, but man need to see a midfielder that transforms this thing and a proper gunman, because, I do think Arsenal fans, when you look at Eddie Nketiah, potentially El Nene, Lacazette ×2 now, good and bad. We started Cedric. We start revising history. I want people that we believe in, and it's not they're riding high in April, shot down in May. We're saying one thing. Then they're not saying he shouldn't get a new deal. It's been amazing, really. There was little to no talk. So yeah, Tammy Abraham's been thrown into the ring, people. Jesus in particular remains open to leaving Manchester City. His reps are talking to Edu, as we know. In relation to Tammy Abraham, people, he's got 15 goals in Italy this season. Apparently, it is expected that the Gunners will focus on bringing in 2 marquee names this summer. Additional players in. However, Football.London has learned that Roma have slapped an asking price of 80 million on Abraham, which is, I'd rather, if I'm going to bring anyone for them mad fees there, I'd rather do up the Osimhen one there, which is likely to scare many of his potential suitors. Of course, they've just bought him. They've just bought him. So make of that what you will, people. Like, they've just bought him. I know next season the release clause comes into place, or the buyback clause or whatever. Chelsea got something where they can get their bread. They can do something around that. So we have to see. It doesn't make sense, because they would sell him and then have to buy another one. Like, it don't really make too much sense, really, if I'm completely honest. So it is what it